Welcome back. This is part 2, Vespa S50 Restoration. So where did we leave off last time? The wheels, wasn't it? Yeah. I said I had a bad feeling about that powder coating, and I was right. This is the front wheel. Done the front, still got a bit to do on the back. Yeah, I tried to blast them. The blasting media wouldn't even touch it. So I sat them in paint stripper overnight, softened it a little bit. But it was still really slow going in the blasting cabinet, so I decided in the end it was not going to be worth the effort. I got to work with the brass brushes in the power drill. Very slow going, very intricate in places, but yeah, it's removing it, so that was the ultimate aim. Once it's removed, then give it a dusting with the blaster, and it's peeling, closing off the surface, giving it a nice finish. The black wheel is done because I want to get the engine rebuilt. So here is the back wheel. At the moment it's in etched primer. It's ready for its top coat. Now you'll notice I've got the wheel, the tyre mounted back on the rim. That's simply because I don't want it all nicely painted up and then I'm scratching the surface with the tyre levers getting it back on. It's not inflated, just got some gaffer tape behind the rims and just dropped it down into the bead drop. Can reach the valve, so when I put a new valve in I can reach it through there, but we'll worry about that later. These are good tyres, Michelin's. I bought these new when I first got Ruperts, so I'm reusing them. So that is ready for paint, and also the variator cover is ready for paint. Now, to remind myself what it looked like, it was a painted finish. I ended up blasting it all. That uncovered a lot of filler and some gouge marks. I think it's been dropped a few times, but got it back to aluminium. Took quite a bit of rubbing down. It's not brilliant, if I'm honest, but it's had 3 coats of filler primer, wet flatting, and then this final top coat. There's a few little marks you can still see, but it's good enough, I feel. It's certainly better than it was. This restoration, it's not going to be a showroom restoration. It's also going to tell a story of Rupert's hard life. So that's going to be painted in the same alloy wheel paint, if you will, the silver paint as the wheel. So we want them for the engine rebuild. Here is the engine. And remember, I was going to blast the engine case, clean it up. I decided not to in the end. I felt that the risk of getting the blasting media inside the bearings was just too great. I was frightened of killing the bearings. Then I'd have to split the cases. I don't want to split the cases because bearings and everything's fine, and I don't have the case splitting tool. It would just be something else to get, so I want to leave that. Remember that 25mm chunk of aluminium that we got in the first episode? Well, I cut another chunk of that off into the inlet and sealed that off. And then I put the steel plate, a double layer of bicycle inner tube, sealing off the exhaust port of the spark plug in. So all the engine is sealed up, and then I got to work degreasing it, jet washed off, then more work with the drill, the brass brushes, and then a Dremel type tool with the miniature brushes. Got into all the intricate parts. You've got to remember this, the engine's buried away inside the frame, you barely see it, but it's just much nicer to be able to work on now, keeping me cleaner. A few things to mount once we start rebuilding it. This was the rear shock absorber mount that's been taken out, and we've got these two here, the engine mounts, or the Vespa special word is the silent block, but yeah, engine mounts. We removed these with the 2 deep sockets and the threaded bar, pulled it out, and we're going to have to put them in the same way. You can't be hammering bushers and bearings into these aluminium flanges. The risk is just too great of snapping them off. All of these threaded holes, going to chase all of these out with a tap. Make sure there's no cross threading or any grit inside them. I'm going to rebuild the engine up with this box here. Everything is in there, either reconditioned or new. I've got new crank bearings to put in. Oil seals, got new seals to put in, and we'll do a leak down test as well. It was virtually airtight before. There's a little leak under the inlet that we'll sort, and a little leak under the spark plug that we're going to sort. So yeah, we're going to get the engine built, and we're going to get that bit of painting done. Oh, and we found a front mud guard as well. Yeah, that little strap that was cut on there, that amongst nearly every other nut and bolt has been zinc plated. Yeah, I got a plating kit off eBay, the Gatoros kit. I'm not going to go into too much detail with that because there's loads of plating videos on YouTube. But yeah, I've been getting some pretty good results. It's all about the preparation, the cleaner you can get the part, which I've been doing with my blaster. Yeah, been pretty good. Yeah, pretty happy with it. Some of the parts, if they're heavily pitted to start with, they're coming out plated but pitted, so they don't look brilliant. But that said, they are damaged parts to begin with, and they are protected from further corrosion. So yeah, that's all right. Right, let's crack on. Do a bit of painting. Bead on one side, ratchet strap, try and just lift it up towards the other and give it a shot of air. Let's see how we go. There we go. Lovely, lovely. I'll take the ratchet strap off. It's just falling. Lovely. That's the mating face for the spark plug. Not great, is it? No wonder it's leaking. What we can do about that? A little better with a stone, but still not great. I think we'll try a little bit of Yammer Bond underneath the spark plug, just to be sure. Sets the correct depth for it. This is the tool. Touching the case all the way around so that he's seated. I've got about 7 psi. It's holding steady. Don't think I even need the soapy water with that. Spark plug, inlet. That's where it was leaking before. Could see it visually dropping on the gauge. Obviously not this time. The new crank seals in there. We'd see them if they were dropping.
girl's a girl and a half. She's got me going up and down. She's got me going up and down. Walking on the beaches, looking at the beaches. Well, I got the notion, girl, that you got some suntan lotion in that bottle of yours. Spread it all over my peeling skin, baby. That feels real good. All this skirt, lapping up the sun, lap me up. Why don't you come on and lap me up? Walking on the beaches, looking at the beaches. Well, there goes another one just lying down on the sand dunes. I better go take a swim and see if I can cool down a little bit. 'Cause you and me, woman, we got a lot of things on our minds, you know what I mean? Walking on the beaches, looking at the beaches. Well, you just take a look over there. Is she trying to get out of that clitoris? Liberation for women, that's what I preach, preacher man. Walking on the beaches, looking at the beaches. Oh shit, there goes the charabanc. Looks like I'm gonna be stuck here the whole summer. Well, what a bummer. I can think of a lot worse places to be, like down in the street, or down in the sewer, or even on the end of a skewer.
Oi, right, we got that done. One engine complete. So I did fill up the carburetor with a little bit of premix, just so when we're kicking it over, it's not being kicked over dry. That's just a protective film over that chrome bit. I do a little bit of fettling just on the exhaust mount. It's pattern parts, but that's the only bit I had to do. To me, it seems to be leaning a little to one side. Double checked, make sure the centre stand bolts were aligned properly, and they are. It is a replacement centre stand, so we dug the old one out. Let's just try and align them, and sure enough, you can see it's about 10mm maybe bent inwards, this leg. If that was to bend out a little bit, it would straighten up. So I think the solution is we're going to leave it as it is for now, wait until it's back on the frame, and then the frame can stand on its side stand, and we can remove this and then straighten that out. So let's find a battery and see if it will turn on the electric start. This is genuinely the first time I've done this. battery. Here we go. Okay, contact. Oh yeah. Sounds well. Got a box here, refurbished parts. I have been busy in the meantime. That's the brake master cylinder. I've cleaned up all right. Just had to respray the lid of it. It was quite corroded. What's next? I think I'm going to start looking at that. It's quite corroded. Some of the lights are really dim on that. That's probably the reason why. And the loom, that one needs cleaning up and re-wrapping. So I'm going to get on with that. I need to get on with some blasting as well. These are the handlebars and the fork, the knuckle. I don't have a press, so I can't separate that. So that's going to have to be cleaned up and masked off. But this portion is going to have to be blasted along with the handlebar. They don't fit in the cabinet. So we do them with sand. This is the blasting grit I've got. I think it's garnet, but this is what I've got for the frame. I have given it a try. This is the side stand. Did a pretty good job. So I need to get on with the blasting. And there's the rest of my electrics. That should clean up just a day or two. No doubt we're going to have a rainy day where we can't do any blasting. So really, the loom, it's just the loom and them electrics to clean up really. Yeah, need to get on with that blasting, don't I? So right, next episode, let's get blasting. See you in a bit.